Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, October 18th. We have all you need to know about Penn State's new vaccination mandate, as well as details on a hit and run in downtown State College.
We also have more on Biden's efforts to solve the country's supply chain issue, along with entertainment, sports, and weather.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hannah Markovich.
And I'm Carlos Garcia.
Penn State will now require all employees at the University Park campus to be vaccinated against COVID-19. This announcement follows an executive order signed by President Joe Biden last month. The executive order was issued on September 9th, but the university determined that all faculty and staff must submit proof of vaccination by December 8th. According to Penn State's COVID-19 dashboard, 81.2% of University Park employees have submitted proof of vaccination. Multiple protests regarding the new requirement have been organized, mainly by the faculty-led Coalition for a Just University. While faculty is now required to get vaccinated, Penn State students are required to receive weekly on-campus testing if they are not already vaccinated. Some students have not been complying with the university's guidelines and are facing serious punishment. Field reporter Natalie Calzatoni has more.
Penn State University is temporarily suspending students who don't comply with testing and vaccination requirements. COVID-19 is still a serious issue on campus, and the university is doing anything it can to keep students safe. University Park students who don't share their vaccination status are required to take a weekly COVID-19 test. If a student misses at least 3 weeks of this mandatory testing, they are being notified by Penn State that they are out of compliance with the health and safety policies and have been placed on an interim suspension through the Office of Student Conduct. Students on temporary suspension cannot partake in classes, events, programs and activities, sporting events, and they are not allowed on campus. Students that live on campus are also temporarily removed from their residence hall. Mackenzie Chrisman, a junior at Penn State, thinks that students could have done more to prevent this from even being a topic of discussion.
You had a choice between getting vaccinated or getting your weekly test, so at that point, if you know you have the choice and you opted to not take the latter, I think they kind of should have expected it.
University staff have been calling students who have missed 3 tests to see if they can assist them. Ann Koskowski, assistant teaching professor at Penn State, doesn't feel that she speaks for all professors, but thinks that the university encouraging students to get vaccinated is a good idea.
I think, we are biting off our noses to spite our face when, what's the harm in getting a vaccination? I think that this research was done well, and I think that the vaccinations don't have serious side effects for the majority of the people that are taking them, and I think it's worth the risk.
Students can choose to have this reversed by going online and uploading a copy of their vaccination status or getting a test. The university continues to try to make campus as safe as possible. Reporting from Penn State University, I'm Natalie Calzatoni for Penn State Network News.
The coronavirus pandemic had quite an impact on incoming freshmen''s decisions regarding field of study this year. While many classes went virtual in the past year, students adjusted to the new style of learning. One student told the Daily Collegian that online learning, quote, allowed him to realize he can teach himself more than he thought, unquote, while another said her work ethic is weakening thanks to the pandemic. Many students expressed their change of heart when it came to choosing an area of study, stating, quote, you should be able to support yourself in a career. While some are now more interested in the medical field, others, quote, don't know if they'll stick with biology. It is possible the university will see more diversity in their incoming students' majors these next few years.
Police are currently investigating a hit-and-run crash in downtown State College. At about 12:15 a.m. on Friday, a silver sedan struck a parked vehicle in the parking lot of Makiyaki at 407 East Beaver Avenue and then fled the scene. Anyone who may have information about the incident is urged to contact the State College Police Department by phone, email, or by submitting a tip online.
A recent Penn State study links eating mushrooms to lower depression rates. The study found that mushrooms are the highest dietary source of the amino acid ergothioneine. This anti-inflammatory cannot be made by humans, and having high levels of ergothioneine in the body lowers the risk of stress as well as the symptoms of depression. This was the first major study between mushrooms and mental health, and according to the researchers, this study proves the importance of mushroom consumption for reducing depression. Now that Penn State classes are back in person, downtown favorites are seeing an increase in business. Field reporter Paloma Frount stopped by a State College favorite to get the details.
I'm Paloma Frount with Penn State Network News, and tonight we find ourselves at the infamous Cheer Halal Gyro, also known as the Halal Cart, a State College favorite for a late night bite. Tonight we'll be speaking to the customers, the owner, and some of the employees to get their insider scoop on this college kid favorite.
You know, there was in 2011, I used to do scrap. And one time I took the scrap to the scrap yard, and when I went down there, they gave me by mistake a lot of money. And I returned it back to them, so the owner found out about it. He told me what we can do for you, and I told him the scrap yard used to be very busy. So I told him you allow me to put the hot dog cart in this place. Honesty got me in here.
Halal refers to meat prepared under Muslim law, and according to Namad, it may even be healthier than how meat is traditionally prepared.
Because when the blood runs out and it gets clean, it has no disease.
With over 1,500 people coming on a typical weekend night, we asked some of the customers what about the service and food keeps bringing them back each time.
One of the people that works here actually knows me by name, so I come here every day. They're pretty friendly. I get the same thing as Tess.
It's not like Sheets where it's like you're getting crap food. Like, this is real.
I feel like the people here, they actually like put in hard work and care about people, and them having like actual good customer service, which is kind of hard to find in like a college town.
We even got the chance to step in the cart and talk to one of the employees about what he recommends off the menu.
I like lamb and fish.
The cart opens at 3 p.m. for now, but plans to go back to its pre-COVID hours starting at 11 a.m. to 3 a.m., 6 days a week. To most customers, the 40-minute lines are worth it after a long night out for this delicious food. I'm Paloma Frount here at the Halal Cart for Penn State Network News.
Fall weather is finally reaching State College. Chris Lemo has this week's weather report.
Thanks, Hannibal. Here's a live look over Beaver Stadium right now. You can see the current conditions brought to you by Center County Report tonight. 54 degrees outside, a lot cooler, and you'll notice the dew point, 34 degrees, a lot drier tonight than what we had last week, feeling a lot more like fall. And if you take a look across central Pennsylvania right now, 53 in Selinsgrove, down to 59 in Harrisburg, a little bit warmer in the valley there. Up to 51 though. Clearfield a little bit chilly right now, really the lone chill spot in the state. Now, if you zoom out across the rest of the state, 56 in Philadelphia and 48 in Scranton. You can see the northern tier of PA dipping already into the 40s. Could see the 30s tonight. Maybe a little bit of frost, no frost advisory out, but it will be one of the more cool nights of the year so far, as it's been a pretty warm October. Taking a look at the radar, you can see a little bit of rain off to the north and east of us here in State College, but for the most part, it's dry across the center part of the state and the western part of the state. All of the action into New York State and off towards the I-95 corridor right now with those northerly winds. Will really continue to stay dry throughout the day tomorrow as well. Looking out across the rest of the region though, the Northeast seeing a lot more of that fall weather, just kind of drizzly and dreary. But luckily we had a pretty nice day. The end of the day today really cleared out, as we've been seeing a lot of those fall clouds that started a little bit early this year in October. So taking a look right now, what we expect into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. Clear skies tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a beautiful day to get outside and enjoy some of those fall activities. Really the only clouds right now up towards Binghamton and up into New York. The vast majority of the Keystone State, though, staying clear through the morning and into the afternoon as well. Maybe a few high clouds into western Pennsylvania, but other than that, very clear. Tonight, maybe some clouds moving, or tomorrow night, excuse me, some clouds moving into western PA, but overall dry and pretty cool, but not unseasonably cool. So tonight, though, we will get to around 40 degrees. Surrounding spots in the mountains probably get into the 30s, which again would be one of the colder temperatures that we've seen so far this fall. But moving ahead to tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day, slightly warmer, so the low 60s, not too terribly windy. Again, a great day to get outside and enjoy some of those fall activities. And then looking towards the 7-day forecast here, we rebound a little bit into Tuesday and Wednesday with temperatures into the mid-60s. Thursday, extremely warm, 72. That's about 15 degrees above average for this time of year. But we get that cold front to move through on Thursday, and then into the weekend, mid-50s. So the game, it looks like on Saturday, once you're headed to Beaver Stadium, maybe a little bit of drizzle, probably some overcast, but temperatures mid to upper 50s shouldn't be too terribly bad for the game against Illinois, homecoming game. Now back to you guys at the anchor desk.
Coming up next, Mike Marandino has the latest stories on Penn State sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Mike Marandino with your sports update. The Nittany Lions women's volleyball team were victorious against Rutgers Friday night. The close battle at Rec Hall ended with a final score of 3-1. Senior middle blocker Caitlin Horde had a hit percentage of .667 with 16 kills and 7 blocks, leading the team to a win. Senior libero Jenna Hampton maintained a solid defensive effort throughout for Penn State, as they held Rutgers to a hit percentage of .119 for the match. Penn State is ranked 15th in the NCAA and improved to 13-4 overall for the season, while holding 6-1 records in both the Big Ten and at home. Rutgers saw their record drop to 8-10 overall and 0-7 in the Big Ten. Penn State will play Maryland at home on October 26th. Fifth-ranked Penn State field hockey used a fourth-quarter burst to steal a road win at Lafayette on Friday night. The Nittany Lions scored all 3 of their goals in the fourth period, with a dagger goal from senior Anna Simon. The non-conference clash ended with a final score of 3-1. Penn State outshot Lafayette 23-6 and had a 12-4 edge in penalty corners. Junior Bree Baracco had 4 saves, while goalkeeper Haley Abbott kept Lafayette in the game with 13 saves. The Nittany Lions now hold a 10-3 record, with a 3-2 record in the Big Ten, as Lafayette dropped to 10-3 on the season. It's an exciting time of the year for basketball fans, as the highly anticipated NBA season kicks off tomorrow night. The first game will feature the Brooklyn Nets against the Milwaukee Bucks at Fiserv Forum, with tip-off at 7:30. The Nets finished preseason action with a 3-1 record. Milwaukee was on the opposite end of that spectrum, with nearly the worst record in the East at 1-4, despite holding the 2020-2021 NBA championship title. Following that matchup between Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors will be visiting LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Warriors finished the preseason undefeated, with the best record in the West finishing 5-0, while the Lakers at 0-6 joined the 0-4 Portland Trailblazers and the 0-4 Washington Wizards as the only teams in the preseason not to win a single game. That's all for sports. After the break, Jimmy Atkinson will bring you the latest in the world of entertainment.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jimmy Atkinson with your entertainment update. The State College Farmers Market is still in full swing, operating on Locust Lane downtown on Tuesdays and Fridays until Thanksgiving. Offering fresh, locally sourced produce, meats, baked goods, and more, the Farmers Market is a great opportunity to get outside and enjoy some State College fall festivities. The market used to be the biggest and only one in the area, but has now become a smaller event, as many vendors have moved away from State College. Remaining vendors have expressed their beliefs that farming is essential, and they're happy to be back in business after COVID-19 interrupted their usual schedule. Rocky Horror Picture Show is returning to State College, showing at State Theater October 29th. The theater is partnering with local bar Chumley's to provide seasonal cocktails and a themed dinner before the screening. Tickets for the event are $12 and can be purchased on the State Theater website. In other local events, the Penn State Arboretum had its annual Pumpkin Festival this past weekend. Field reporter Olivia Osnamer stopped by to bring us the story.
In a community that's drawn together through football, a bye week is the perfect time for State College residents to celebrate the fall season with the annual Pumpkin Festival. The event was hosted at the Penn State Arboretum this weekend.
I like the colorful pumpkins.
The festivities included a jack-o'-lantern lighted display, carved pumpkins, entertaining decorations, lighted nighttime displays, family events, games, and crafts, and a pumpkin giveaway. The The Arboretum gave away around 800 pumpkins on one simple condition. The pumpkins should be returned for the pumpkin carving contest. Roughly 400 pumpkins were returned for the contest, according to Sherry Edelson, the Director of Operations.
Last night, we came and saw it in the nighttime, and it was magical. Unbelievable artistic achievements here.
Food was catered and refreshments were available for purchase, including the Halloween classics, apple cider, and hot chocolate.
Hopefully post-COVID-19, meaning that people can once again get outside. So I do sense the excitement that people were shut in for so long, and they're even more excited than usual to get out and mingle.
The Pumpkin Festival takes months of planning and executing to create the wonderful event that it is.
Despite a weekend without Penn State football, the community gathered together for an event that catered to all ages. There was no festival last year due to the coronavirus pandemic, so everyone is very excited to be back. Despite the not so great weather, the festival was still a great success. If you didn't make it this year, no worries, it happens every year. I'm Olivia Ostimer, Penn State Network News.
The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees officially reached a new labor deal with top Hollywood studios this weekend, narrowly avoiding a massive strike that would have grinded the entire film industry to a halt. New benefits for production crew members include 3% annual wage hikes, 10-hour turnaround times between shoots, and a 54-hour rest period on the weekends. The deal is still pending approval from thousands of union members, but for now it appears IATSE leadership is satisfied enough to call off the strike. The union forms the backbone of the film industry with over 150,000 members, and it has never striked in its 128-year history. Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker and girlfriend Kourtney Kardashian are officially engaged. The couple took to Instagram to share the news with the caption, quote, "Forever." The two have been dating since January of 2021. However, they have known each other for quite a while and were seen getting dinner in 2018. Dating rumors have sparked between the pair in the past, and Barker has made appearances on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The couple got engaged on Sunday after less than a year of dating. That's all for your entertainment update. This week, interview anchor JC Colavita sat down business owner Arif Demersi to speak about his vintage clothing business, Penn State Threads. Take a look.
Today I had the chance to speak with Arif Demersi, co-founder of Penn State Threads. How are you today, Arif?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm good, man. So let's jump right in. Can you tell me about the origin story of Penn State Threads?
Yeah, so basically we started my senior year of high school and my brother graduated. He was an alumni, still is. And we just had the idea because there was an untapped market. So we went in, started off slow, but we got some traction now for sure.
What gave you the idea to do vintage? Because I know there's other clothing brands like Joe Pa's Closet, but why vintage?
Well, my whole life I've just been in love with vintage. Ever since I was a kid, I just go to Plato's, Goodwill, find vintage stuff. So I wanted to combine the two of reselling clothes and business that side with my love for vintage. So Penn State Thread's a good match for that.
Walk me through the process of how you actually make the merchandise.
We don't make the merchandise, we buy it. So we just resell it. So we're a reseller. So we find either products in person or online. And yeah, we find products that we think that we could sell. We get them, we acquire them, and then we sell them again.
What places do you specifically look for to get those resale merch?
Online, I don't really want to say any of that, but in person, definitely Goodwill, Plato's Closet. It's kind of hard to find stuff now, just because now there's a lot of people into this, so it's kind of hard to find stuff in person. But if you do, there's a good amount of hidden gems out there.
What's it like working on this project with your brother?
It's a love-hate thing, working with your brother. I guess working with anyone in your family in a business like this, it can get stressful at times for sure. There's things you want to do a certain way, but your brother has another idea of doing it, so it's just a lot of butting heads sometimes. But I think both of us are equally committed to it, so it works out well in the end.
That's really cool, man. I know how siblings tend to clash. I know my sister and I used to do it all the time, but as long as you're both working toward that common goal, that's all that matters. What were your original ideas for Penn State Threads, and how has that changed over time?
Originally we didn't have any ideas for Penn State Threads. We just wanted to like put something out there and like see where it could go. We didn't really have any goals. Now I'd say our goal is just to like get a bigger audience, of course, find more merch, and we don't have any goals of branching out to like other universities, but that's definitely like in the mind, maybe in the future if we can get bigger.
So speaking of the future, I know you guys are just growing right now, so you have like about 3,000 followers on Instagram. But what are the future plans? What are you looking towards, like in the short term and long term?
Short term, definitely just get more followers, get bigger, try to like find more clothing to sell, because that's like the number one thing in our bit. Like if we don't have anything to sell, then like there's no way we could get bigger. So that's like the biggest roadblock we have right now, just like always trying to find new clothes to sell, always trying to like be on the lookout for that. So that's like the main goal right now, try to find some constant source of product to sell. And then long term, I learned what I said before, like if I could do like some, you know, like University of Texas threads, some like Northwestern threads, like that's like a cool goal to have. Branch it out nationally.
What is your favorite item that you guys have up for sale right now?
Well, if you look, the most recent one, I'd say if you look on our Instagram page, it's some like vintage pink or vintage purple Nike Penn State windbreaker. I think that one's the dopest piece we have right now.
I did see that one. The one that I really like, I liked all the Rose Bowl merch. That was cool.
Classics.
So how can people find Penn State threads?
Well, you can check us out on our website at threadstateuniversity.com, or you can check us out on our Instagram, Penn State Threads, and our link to our website's also in our bio on Instagram.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you doing this for us today. I can't wait to see how this grows. Thanks for coming in.
Of course, anytime.
For PSN News, I'm JC Calavita.
President Joe Biden is making moves towards easing the American supply chain issues before the holidays. Biden spoke with 3 of the largest U.S. goods carriers, Walmart, FedEx, and UPS, and announced that these companies will be stepping up their efforts to address supply chain issues internally. Biden also visited various ports to discuss congestion as well as extended hours. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said consumers could continue seeing high prices and product shortages through the rest of the year as the market works through supply chain bottlenecks and worker shortages. The Biden administration is promising to address these issues and help to rebuild a better solution for the 21st century.
Former track star Mary Cain is suing Nike and her ex-coach for $20 million after claiming that she suffered emotional abuse after an elite training program. Cain filed the lawsuit in Oregon on Monday against the athletic apparel company and Alberto Salazar, who ran the Nike Oregon project until he was suspended for doping offenses and the program was shut down. Cain's attorneys allege that Salazar and other Nike employees often made sexist and objectifying comments about the female athletes, focusing on their appearance and weight. The lawsuit states that Salazar was aware Cain was developing an eating disorder and mental health issues, but he allegedly did nothing. The New York Times reported that they received an email from Salazar denying many of Cain's claims.
Armed clashes between sectarian militias turned Beirut neighborhoods into a war zone on Thursday, killing 6 people and wounding 30 others. Protests led by 2 Shiite Muslim parties turned violent when snipers fired from nearby buildings, according to Lebanese officials. Protesters began to return fire, resulting in a clash set between 2 neighborhoods, one Shiite and the other a Christian political party. After 4 hours of fighting, the Lebanese army was deployed to calm the crowds. Residents remained in their homes long after the streets were cleared, afraid of more violence to come.
William Shatner makes history by becoming the oldest person to go to space. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket carried the Star Trek actor and 3 fellow passengers to space on Wednesday. At 90 years old, Shatner was weightless in space for around 4 minutes. After the trip, Shatner and the 3 other passengers came back down to Earth safely in parachutes. The Blue Origin rocket has plans for another trip this year and several for the upcoming year. And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.